Hi there guys, and welcome back to Naturally Rawsome. I'm Eva, and today I want to talk with you about gallbladder health. This is a topic that's been affecting me and is affecting me, so I thought I would share what I've learned, read, and what I'm incorporating into my diet to keep my gallbladder healthy and functioning. So let's get started. The gallbladder is a tiny organ on the right side of your liver or right below your liver. It kind of has different position for everybody, so it's not 100% always at the same point. But the gallbladder can get stones or can get inflamed, can have scar tissue in it. And today I want to talk with you about where that comes from. So how do stones get formed and how do they get into the gallbladder? It's if the liver is already overburdened from too many toxins, chemicals, whatever is in the air, in the water that we drink, from medications, alcohol, then it tries to protect you and it stores things away. And once it gets overheated from being overworked, then it's really hot. And the gallbladder itself is a cool organ, a cold organ. And as these two are connected and the liver sends bile to the gallbladder, once the hot bile, so to say, from the liver goes to the gallbladder, then it's going from a hot point to a cold point, and this transition can create or can turn jelly balls into pigment stones. And that's where they come from. And there cannot only be pigment stones, but there are also bile stones. Well, there are cholesterol stones, bile stones, and protein stones. And the cholesterol stones are pretty much equally to the pigment stones, the bile stones, and come from the overheated liver. And the cholesterol stones not only come from bad cholesterol food like French fries, greasy pizza, or really fatty animal products. Things like whipped cream, something like that. But it can also come from healthy cholesterol foods. Because if the liver is already struggling and is overheated, then this can happen. So what is really important when somebody is struggling with gallbladder or liver issues is to keep up a low-fat diet and a low-protein diet, because high protein is pretty much the same as high fat. And I experience it all the time. When I eat things that are rich in protein, it's really affecting my digestion, just as well as overt fats. So I usually mostly avoid them, pretty much most of the time, or eat them very sparingly. A high-fat diet puts liver under a lot of stress because it has to produce tremendous amount of bile in order to digest all of the fats. And if you really want to detox your liver, it's best to avoid overt fats at all for a certain time. Let's say at least 3 weeks for the beginning. And that will help the liver tremendously, because then it has the time and the capability to do all of its other tasks like producing hormones and killing off pathogens, and yeah, keeping up your immune system, because the liver also has an immune system and works together with the other immune system, of course. And that will help to ease your liver and allow it to cleanse itself from all of the things that we've been absorbing throughout the years. And as soon as we eat fat, that gets delayed because the liver is too busy to digest those fats. And that's also bringing me to the gallbladder flushes, which are pretty popular nowadays, and since quite a while. And sure, I've heard of them before too, but I never really got into it, and according to my own experiences, because how bad I feel after eating just small amounts of oil, or eating overt fats, I would never drink up a cup of oil, or even if it's less, that would give me a terrible feeling. So that's never something that I went into. And the thing with gallbladder flushes is actually that it can be pretty dangerous, because when you do the gallbladder flush and a really gallstone gets flushed out of the gallbladder, and because of its size gets stuck into the bile duct, then you might have ending in the hospital and having it to be removed if you're not lucky and it passes by. So that can be pretty dangerous, and that's why I wouldn't do a gallbladder flush. Because I know that there are natural foods that help to dissolve gallstones, and that would keep me from drinking any kind of oily concoction that, is pretty hard to swallow. There are much better ways. And people who did gallbladder flushes and feel pretty good afterwards, this is because of how they felt during the gallbladder flush. They felt so terrible that everything afterwards just feels super good, and much better than during the gallbladder flush. But the problem is that if you're drinking all of the oil, that is just, like I told you, the high fat amount puts the liver under a lot of stress, and it starts to produce a lot of bile in order to digest the fat, and stops all of the other functions just to get rid of that oil. And then people analyze their stools and say, wow, I got all of these gallstones in there with different colors, different sizes, depending on the person, and And the reason is where they come from is not really the gallbladder, but it's from the digestive tract, because the digestive tract is packing up the oil that you just swallowed into mucus balls to flush it out, because it's not really useful for the body that much if you eat a lot of oil at once. And as it's so high in fat, the body's just trying to get rid of whatever it doesn't need, and that as safely as possible. So it's packing it up in mucus to bring it out of the digestive tract. And that are the stones that people see. Because there are also people who did a lot of gallbladder flushes one after another, and they always get stones in there and again. And do you really think that there would be so many stones in an organ like this size? I mean, just think about it. Would that really fit into this small, tiny organ? And another thing is that after the gallbladder flush, if you did that, because the liver had such an amount of stress and had to produce such a high amount of bile, after the gallbladder flush, people usually produce even less bile than they produced before. So they can end up having an even weaker digestion than before because of the lack of bile. So let's say your liver produced 50% of bile before the flush, and then you did the flush and now it's just producing 30% of bile. That would kind of, how should I say, that would kind of interfere with your digestion. So that's another counterpoint to consider before thinking about doing a gallbladder flush. Oh yeah, and another thing is if the gallbladder is inflamed, or if you're having a gallbladder issue, that can also come from a food poisoning that you had or had a long time ago. Because when that happens and you get something like vomiting, diarrhea, and you're feeling very sick and having abdominal pain, then for some people it might be that they even have to get their gallbladder removed because of that food poisoning, if it was that strong. But if not, then after a while things might be okay again. But be aware that the pathogen that created this food poisoning can nest into the gallbladder and create up some problems 20 years down the road later on. Because it's been nesting in there and at some point it might come back out. And this is something that has happened to me, and that's probably what's coming back to me right now, because I think it was 10 years ago or so when I had some fish that wasn't the freshest. I got pretty sick and had lots of diarrhea and abdominal cramping and pain. But yeah, after a week I felt better again and didn't get any symptoms of anything again, just as of right now. But now let's come to the, I'd say, 12 healthy foods that you can eat in order to keep your gallbladder healthy, to dissolve stones, and just take care of your gallbladder without drinking any oily concoction. Let's start with the first one. This is, or let's say the first 4, which are juices, or something to drink. The first is lemon or lime water, especially in the morning and before you go to bed, because the lemons and limes and citrus fruits in general help to dissolve gallstones and also help to cleanse the liver and flush out toxins. And drinking this in the morning is very good because over the night all of the things might have been accumulating in the blood, and drinking the lemon water in the morning also helps to flush out everything that's been accumulating over the night. And the next thing after lemon or lime water is celery juice. Celery juice also is very powerful in flushing out pathogens and bacteria and viruses, especially also out of the liver. And a healthy liver also is good for a healthy gallbladder because they are so close together and interconnected with each other. Then the next juice, which is very good, is pure cucumber juice. It's also something that I like. I don't drink it always because usually I mix it up with other fruits, but pure cucumber juice is very good because it's first of all hydrating, and the second, it's also helping to flush out toxins because it's diuretic. And it's also good for the kidneys. So, worth to try it, right? Then the fourth juice that we have on the list is cranberry juice. And you might already know this for your urinary tract health. But cranberry juice is also very good for the gallbladder because it helps to dissolve gallstones and also kidney stones. So as I've already mentioned before, lemons and limes, but the citrus fruits in general are pretty good for the gallbladder because they help to dissolve gallstones and yeah, just keep the bile production and bile flow going. So especially the citrusy, the acid citrusy fruits like lemons and limes and grapefruits are very good. So if you can do grapefruits, then you can, for example, juice the grapefruits and have this as a pre-dinner juice or past-dinner juice. And because if you're eating a salad for dinner, this is very good because citrus fruits also help to absorb all of the minerals from greens, which are also important for the gallbladder, especially sodium-rich veggies and greens like kale, spinach, asparagus, radishes. And something that is also sodium rich is dulse. And then also veggie fruits like tomatoes. Also a fruit or veggie fruit that is very good to reduce gallstone size and to help get rid of the sludge from the gallbladder. Another great fruit is wild blueberries because it's also dissolving gallstones. Then we also have pineapples, which are not only good for the gallbladder but also good for the liver because it cleans it and drives out the toxins and yeah, the mucus and debris that has been piled up in the liver. Then we have another veggie fruit, zucchini, which phytonutrients can reduce the gallbladder inflammation. And we have hibiscus, which is a gallbladder rejuvenator as well as a liver rejuvenator. And this one here cleans up the gallbladder walls and it also improves the liver's immune function. So usually I add the hibiscus to my dinner tea or past dinner tea, before bedtime tea. And yeah, if you're drinking tea throughout the day, this is a very good choice. And you can also mix it with peppermint tea, because peppermint is also another great thing for liver and gallbladder. So those were my foods that you can incorporate into your diet maybe if you like, but always check with your naturopath or doctor before making any dietary changes. And yeah, fruits in general are very good for dissolving gallstones and keeping you healthy because they don't feed pathogens and viruses and bacteria, but rather work to kill them off, especially herbs. So good for killing off any kind of bugs within you. So those were my food tips for gallbladder health. And another thing you can do is to definitely keep a no-fat morning, so no nut milk or dairy milk, which is not beneficial at all. And yeah, no nuts and seeds, avocados and other overt-fat foods, and I'd say animal proteins, yeah, that's also pretty high in fat, because the morning time, the time from I think it was 4 in the morning until 12, that's the time when the liver goes into cleansing mode and helps to cleanse or is cleansing out all of the stuff that's been accumulated. And as you know, as soon as fat comes in, it stops and has to start all over again the next morning. So keeping it no fat in the morning is definitely good to support your liver in its cleansing mode. And for me that's already no problem because I pretty much eat fruits all morning long and yeah, drink my juices, lemon water, fresh squeezed green juices with either kale or carrots greens or radishes greens. And drinking is also very essential for liver and gallbladder health because it helps to flush things out. But then I have another last tip for you. Hope this is not getting too long. Something that I've started when I got problems with my gallbladder is that I've mixed up a bottle of different essential oils that I've looked up in the internet, which are good for the gallbladder. So this mixture is made up of geranium, sage, lemon, lime, fennel, and peppermint, and yeah, spearmint could be added as well. And geranium is actually good to extend the bile ducts, to cleanse the liver, and peppermint and spearmint are very good stimulants and digestive aids, but peppermint especially is also a painkiller, so if you're having problems that might soothe it. And yeah, sage is a stimulant as well and is also a great pathogen killer like all herbs. Then we have fennel, which increases the bile flow, and of course lemon and lime to dissolve gallstones. And this is helping me quite a bit. I always realize how refreshing it is. And what I do is I add a drop on my hand and then I circle it 3 times to activate the oil, and then I apply it just over here where I feel some kind of pain, or if not, then I know where the gallbladder sits around this area, then I apply it. But over here you should also always test for oils and use very high quality oils to see if you're not sensitive, and if you're sensitive then you should dilute them or yeah, mix them up with something like coconut oil or other oils like almond oil to make them not as potent as they are in their pure state. I'm totally fine with that and I like to apply them pure, but always make sure that you're not having any allergic reaction. And this is just my experience, so I'm using a clean bottle and I'm not making any commercial for this. I'm just sharing what I use to assist my gallbladder. That's it for today, I think. Yeah, this is my little video about gallbladder health. I hope it's helpful for you too if you're having gallbladder issues. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Either write me the comments down below or DM me. If I can help you with anything, I'm doing my best. And I hope you enjoyed and liked this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. And subscribe for even more videos to come. Yeah, and I'm wishing you a great day. Have a good time and see you next time. And remember, keep it light and simple. And as always, naturally, Rawsome. Bye!